Question number 8, Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. What was the dollar figure of net core Crown debt when he took office as Minister, and what is that dollar figure today?
The Honourable Bill English.
In 2008-9, core Crown net debt was $17.1 billion, or 9.1% of GDP. Net debt in 2014-15 was $60.6 billion, or 25.2% of GDP. In between, we had the world's most significant financial crisis since the Great Depression, and we had to borrow $17 billion to rebuild Christchurch. And every proposition I've seen from the Labor Party since would drive debt up.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Has he seen the report by Citigroup entitled "Here Comes a Global Recession"? And what is he prepared to do to change his approach to managing the economy to meet that challenge?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I don't have to read Citigroup's voluminous commentary to hear about coming recession, because the Labor Party's been predicting it the whole time the economy's been growing. About every second week they predict a recession. So, no, I haven't read that report.
Order. Barbara Kuriger, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister, what steps has the government taken to return the books to surplus and get on top of debt?
The Honourable Bill English. Order.
Well, Mr Speaker, the government is focused on careful management of new spending. In the last 7 budgets, we've spent an average of $680 million discretionary spend each budget, compared to an average of $3 billion per year in the 7 years before that. We've also focused on getting more for less out of existing public services, not just new ones, and that has meant pursuing with some vigour value for money in our large spending areas such as education and health, in the justice system, and also in welfare, using some more innovative techniques that are starting to show long-term benefits.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Does he stand by his statement in November 2008, when net debt was $50 billion less than it is today, quote, "I want to stress that New Zealand starts from a reasonable position in dealing with the uncertainty of the economic outlook"?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, with respect to net debt levels, yes, but of course with respect to the policy settings left behind by the disastrous management of the previous Labor government, no.
That's supplementary.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Does he recall saying in November 2008, quote, "In New Zealand we have room to respond. This is the rainy day that the government has been saving up for. And how are we placed for an upcoming rainy day with $50 billion extra debt?"
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I did say that, and I must say that since then my appreciation of the skills of Dr Cullen as a Labor Finance Minister have grown enormously. He had much more understanding and ability to deliver on these things than any of the 6 finance spokesmen since.
Order. Supplementary question, Simon O'Connor.
What other approaches has the Minister seen to managing the government's books?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I've seen proposals just in the last few months for increased spending on public sector wages, infrastructure, education, health, tertiary education, social services, the Venture Investment Fund and the Super Fund. All of these have come from the Labor Party, who are advocating that we've got too much debt.
Manage the economy. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Isn't it true that his failure to grow the New Zealand economy in real terms means that our borrowing is tens of billions of dollars higher, and that the rainy day that's coming now we are not prepared for as we were in 2008?
The order, the Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, I disagree with that. In 2008, while government debt levels were low, It was the product of a time when GDP, nominal GDP, had grown very rapidly. Inflation was 5%. Interest rates were, first mortgage interest rates then were 10%. So while debt levels were low, the economy was in very poor shape. This time round, debt levels are higher because they've had to be to run a decent community and a decent support for the New Zealand people, but our economy is in much better shape than it was in 2008.
Question number 9, Stuart Smith.